First on 5 this morning, Oshkosh's Board of Education approved a controversial set of budget cuts last night to balance a $5.5 million hole in their budget. Local 5's Paul Stino tells us what was included in those cuts.
Resolution carries with a vote of 4-3.
By the slimmest of margins, the Oshkosh Board of Education passing a series of budget cuts on Wednesday night designed to eliminate the district's $5.5 million deficit for next school year.
There's nothing easy about any one of these cuts in here, but we can't put it off forever.
The cuts will eliminate at least 44 positions across the district, but save several positions that had previously been on the chopping block, like the Oshkosh West mental strength coach and the district's community engagement and equity coordinator. It also does not move forward with a previous proposal that would have forced elective teachers to teach 6 class periods per day instead of 5. Some board members arguing that there are still too many cuts in the plan that the board passed.
We have a trust problem in this district. We have a communication problem in this district. We have an engagement problem in this district. And that ultimately is why I'll be voting against the budget reduction proposal. I do not yet trust or believe that these reductions are centered on the concept of students first.
Are you confident in the legwork that you and your staff put into understanding the impact of each and every one of these cuts?
Yeah, absolutely. So there was a lot of time that was put into that, and certainly it's a continuous process. So we'll continue to learn more as we move forward.
At the meeting on Wednesday night, several people spoke up in public comment, asking the district to remove line items in the budget cut proposal that got rid of 5 of the district's media specialists.
Reducing licensed library media specialists does not remove the need for literacy instruction, digital citizenship, or media literacy. It removes the trained educators who provide it.
An amendment made by board member Barbara Herzog to save these positions failed. Board members acknowledging that these decisions are difficult and all these positions are important, but pointing out that it sets an unsustainable precedent to eliminate a new position from the list of cuts every time someone comes to a board meeting to advocate for it. Another proposed amendment to the budget cuts that ultimately failed raised attention in the room for a few minutes.
I will make a motion here to amend the resolution to add the following sentence to the end of the resolution. The Board of Education also approves the reduction of Superintendent Brian Davis as a budget reduction measure.
Board member Kelly DeWitt asking for Superintendent Brian Davis to be fired as part of the budget cuts. Board Vice President Chris Wright among the majority of board members who voted to shoot that idea down.
And when we can, we have to try to lift the district up and not destroy it at every turn. And that's our duty as board members. Sowing chaos leads towards people leaving.
I'll always continue to, be open and honest, with the work that we need to do. Like those reductions, whether it's me in this position or somebody else, those reductions need to be done.
In Oshkosh, Paul Stino, Local 5 News.
Superintendent Davis says they have notified all staff impacted by the budget reductions.